So all of you, I'm sure, are aware of the entire Dylan Mulvaney situation that's been going on really for more than a month now. I mean, this has been one of the biggest stories to come out, one of the biggest I would say really stories in history where a boycott makes such a massive difference that you actually had Pride Month companies that normally go all out of their way to go crazy over Pride Month actually scale back, actually not even do as much. And some of them, even Xbox, for example, pulled their entire logo that they had originally set up to be the whole pride flag thing, right? So you actually had companies being far more scared, far more tedious, far more just kind of resilient to this whole situation because they knew, hey, if this happened to Bud Light, this could happen to us too, which is a good thing, of course. But you have Dylan Mulvaney here as this person that has been just the highlight of this entire boycott, specifically dealing with Bud Light, the beer company. So check this clip out here. This is Dylan Mulvaney talking about the whole situation for this entire situation during when all of it was going on, when the controversy was really at its height. He wasn't saying anything. He actually was entirely silent during the entire situation. Check this clip out here of him talking about it.
Hi. One thing I will not tolerate people saying about me is that I don't like beer, because I love beer and I always have. I built my platform on being honest with you.
You serious?
And what I'm about to tell you might sound like old news, but you know that feeling when you have something uncomfy like sitting on your chest? Well, that's how I feel right now. So this feels like the right thing to do. I took a brand deal with a company that I loved, and I posted a sponsored video to my page. And it must have been a slow news week, because the way that this ad got blown up, you would have thought I was like on a billboard or on a TV commercial or something major. But no, it was just an Instagram video. And the wildest part is that they also sent me one can with my face on it. You might have seen it. And funny story, I had the can around my house, but then I realized, wait, I need to protect this can. So I hid it somewhere, and now I can't find it because I hid it so well. But when I do find it, I feel like it needs to go in a museum, preferably behind bulletproof glass. And you might be thinking, Dylan, why bring it up now? I'm bringing it up because what transpired from that video was more bullying and transphobia than I could have ever imagined. And I should have made this video months ago, but I didn't. And I was scared, and I was scared of more backlash, and I felt personally guilty for what transpired. So I patiently waited for things to get better. But surprise, they haven't really. And I was waiting for the brand to reach out to me, but they never did.
Of course!
And for months now, I've been scared to leave my house. I have been ridiculed in public. I've been followed. And I have felt a loneliness that I wouldn't wish on anyone. And I'm not telling you this because I want your pity. I am telling you this because if this is my experience from a very privileged perspective, know that it is much, much worse for other trans people. For a company to hire a trans person and then not publicly stand by them is worse, in my opinion, than not hiring a trans person at all, because it gives customers permission to be as transphobic and hateful as they want. And the hate doesn't end with me. It has serious and grave consequences for the rest of our community. And you know, we're customers too. I know a lot of trans and queer people who love beer, and I have some lesbian friends who could drink some of those haters under the table.
Right.
But to turn a blind eye and pretend everything is okay, it just isn't an option right now. And you might say, but Dylan, I don't want to get political. Babe, supporting trans people, it shouldn't be political. There should be nothing controversial or divisive about working with us. And I know it's possible because I've worked with some fantastic companies who care, but caring about the LGBTQ plus community requires a lot more than just a donation somewhere during Pride Month. And all this to say, bottom line is that if you follow me, if I've made you smile, if you care about me, I need you to care about every trans person. And I need you to support us, and I need you to stand by us. And hey, it's still Pride Month. So I'm going to celebrate being alive. And I'm going to celebrate the trans people in my life and the ones I haven't met yet. And I'm going to celebrate the fact that no matter how many thousands of horrible messages or news anchors misgendering me or companies going silent, that I can look in the mirror and see the woman that I am and that I love being. And I know you were probably here for the tea of it all, but I would love for something productive to come from this. So there is a link in my bio to the Trans Law Center, who is doing some wonderful work if you have the means to donate. And to the good people out there, I love ya. I really do. And cheers, but only if you're of legal drinking age. Okay, I love you. Bye.
All right, so as you can tell, I mean, come on, this is insane, right? Think about it like this: you're this person that's hired for this big advertising campaign for this massive company, right? Bud Light here, and you realize and should realize yourself that this is going to be bad. You know, the real delusional person here is whoever hired Dylan Mulvaney, which, by the way, has since been fired, that marketing lady. But you have to think about this from the perspective of Dylan Mulvaney, too, right? Like, what in the world made you think that this was going to be perfectly fine, that nobody was going to lose their mind over this, right? They think that they're entirely normal. They are being lied to by the left to think that this is perfectly not going to totally blow up in their face. And then when it does, they want to act all surprised all of a sudden for whatever reason. I don't understand that at all, right? So he says in the video where he's like, well, I'm just so surprised that they actually didn't come out and support me. Well, no kidding, right? I mean, Bud Light doesn't care about you. You know what I'm saying? What this whole story is really revolving around is their bottom dollar and the fact that they've lost over $20 billion because of the fact that you simply can't handle this controversy, because of the fact that you thought that this was perfectly normal to throw out in front of everybody's face and continues to do that. Now other brands are just saying, hey, you know what, that Dylan Mulvaney guy, I'm good. I'm not going to go in that direction, which is common sense. That's how this works, right? Companies care about money. Why in the world would you open up an advertisement or some marketing campaign to what, maybe 0.101% of your audience? I mean, come on, how does that work, right? And I assure you that the vast majority of people that are drinking that beer probably don't care or weren't waiting for this ad campaign to do it. And if you're a person that's sitting out there that's a part of that 0.01% of people that would, I don't know, feel seen or whatever you want to call it by this advertisement, then you're pretty easily coercible if all of a sudden you're going to start drinking beer when you totally didn't for your entire life at all, simply because you saw someone else do it. Okay, this is the biggest, stupidest type of marketing campaign you can possibly imagine. There's many different kinds of ads, but this is the dumbest one. Hey, somebody else that looks like you or that does something like you does it, so why don't you do it too? You know, I don't know about you guys, but at least when I grew up, my mom said, hey, if somebody was basically getting ready to jump off a bridge, would you do the same thing? The whole idea being, just because you see someone else doing it doesn't mean you should too. So why in the world are we using this as an advertising campaign is entirely beyond me. So we have this other part of the story where the glass bottling plant, okay, so this is the company that actually makes the glass bottles for Bud Light, is shutting down, okay? Not losing money, gone, right? This is what's happening right now. So this is far more reaching than just Bud Light, which is so big that it's hard for these companies to really feel a financial strain, right? Until $20 billion happens, of course, but it takes a long time because there's a delay. Remember, stores buy the beer from these companies far before it sells it. So to Bud Light, they made their money in the very beginning. It didn't matter, right? It's only until the stores start to say, oh, we're going to have to slow down how much we purchase, that then Bud Light starts seeing the residual effects. So same thing with this glass bottling company. They were good. Bud Light was buying just as much beer as they were before and using their bottles as much as they were before this controversy. After the controversy, things have changed. This bottling company, impacted by Bud Light's botched promotion with this transgender influencer, Dylan Mulvaney, is shutting down 2 of its locations, laying off more than 600 employees as the beer brand continues to grapple with all of these declining sales and other financial losses.
Well, duh.
I mean, congrats, guys. Is this really what you wanted? I mean, really, I have to imagine that, you know, you have to have people that are boycotting sitting here like this. at least from what we can tell in this situation, this has to go down as the biggest, really most effective boycott on a major corporation that we've ever seen. And this is because people use their wallets to make a difference. We can post online all day. We can put up however many types of things we want or talk to people every day that we want to talk about it. But the reality is that until we just stop buying these products and start showing, hey, you know what? There's another company out there that's willing to not do this, then we're just going to continue seeing the same thing. And that's what's changed here. That's what's better now. We don't have to deal with all these issues anymore. We now can move forward and do positive things because it's now affecting these companies. And the whole point is that the companies change, that all of them see that. And it's obviously had that effect to a certain degree. Still, I mean, of course, Pride Month was still doing its thing, but at the same time, it was far less in your face than it was in the past. So hopefully these companies remember this stuff and continuing to now moving forward, realize that if they're going to go in this direction, be prepared to have your sales cut. You basically laying off people, especially in this economy, not a great situation. It's not good for the 600 employees. I mean, they did nothing wrong. They're part of kind of that section of people that get affected that nobody thinks about. It's not just Bud Light. It's all of the kind of companies that are involved in making that product that wind up suffering as a result of this person going out there trying to be woke. But that's what happens. That's the way that our economy works. That's the way that this situation happens when people stop buying things or start buying things, whatever this direction that it's going in. But with that being said, let me know what you think down in the comments. What do you think about the whole bottling plant going under? The 600 employees that they're following? Do you think that's good, bad? Do you think these changes are actually going to make a difference? Is it going to be something that's going to happen for a long period of time, or is it temporary? Let me know down in the comments. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and make sure you turn on notifications so that you know when our videos go live. With that being said, I'll catch you on the next one.